Depending on how you look at it, Idaho's legislature is about to get a big head start on the 2022 session, or they're about to further extend the 2021 session, already the longest in state history. Well, technically and legally, the plan to get the band back together on November 15th would be an extension of the last session, not even a special session. That's because back in May, the House decided to recess instead of adjourning. The Senate, meanwhile, believed they called it quits when they voted to sine die. But they are still in session because of a technicality, which works out because in order to actually pass legislation, both chambers need to be in session at the State House. Joe Paris spoke with the leader of the Senate, that's Pro Tem Chuck Winder, about what they are planning to do with the House returning in November.
In May, the Idaho Senate adjourned for the year, but the Idaho House did not. Now, the House is planning on coming back to take up the ethics investigation into Representative Priscilla Giddings. They're also looking at legislation to push back against the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. But with the Senate technically adjourned for the year, are they locked out from returning and being a part of legislation? Senate Pro Tem Chuck Winder says no.
The Attorney General has ruled that we really didn't sine die because from a constitutional standpoint, the Constitution contemplates both the House and the Senate agreeing to sine die. Since the House recessed, our sine die is null and void, so we're still in a regular session.
Winder's referring to an Attorney General's opinion released earlier this year. It's possible that opinion could be challenged in court, but for now it is wait and see. The opinion does wrap up with this note, though, quote, "It is essential to note that the scenario currently presented is unique and unprecedented in Idaho. The legislature's decision to pursue this course of action causes risk, which could result in a reviewing court concluding differently." For now, though, here's the plan for the Senate.
Our members can come back voluntarily. They could wait and see what the House does, and then the House, could force us to come back if they wanted to actually do some legislation. Or they could sine die, and then we could come back and sine die, and it'd be over.
Winder says either way, the Senate will eventually need to come back and formally adjourn based on the AG's opinion. There are members of the Senate open to passing something, though, before the end of the year in response to the Biden vaccine mandate. However, Winder says that is complicated by the fact that the Biden administration has not announced all the rules involved with the executive action, which says that businesses with more than 100 employees will be required to have everyone vaccinated or do weekly testing. There are other avenues, though, to address the action. Winder explains one option.
We are trying to figure out a way to establish standing to bring a lawsuit against the executive order on the contractors and employers. I don't think there's anything we can do about federal workers, federal employees, but there are some things I think we can do to protect our citizens from basically what we feel is an arbitrary and capricious overstep of the president.
When lawmakers return, they are returning to regular session rules with no limits on the topics they can discuss. Some have spoke out, raising concerns about a runaway session that could drag on for weeks. Winder says he believes lawmakers are focused on mandate issues.
There are people that, are talking about, tax bills, education bills. Those are more appropriately done when we've got time during a regular session. And I don't think anybody wants to come back and just keep going on till the end of the year, trying to get this stuff done. We're only 2 months away now, and I think everybody feels like it'll be a whole lot better end result if we wait till January and February to take on the major issues.
All right, Joe, during the session when it was still, I guess we're still in session. So during the previous, I don't know, whatever we want to call it.
Previous portion of the session.
There you go.
There it is.
There was a lot of House members who were complaining that the Senate is where some of the bills that they wanted to see passed would go to die. Like they wouldn't even talk about them. They'd be tabled or in the drawer, whatever. Is there still expected to be that standoff between both chambers?
Well, in terms of what actually happens, it's wait and see. But in the reaction of the Senate, there was concern previously that the Senate may double down and say, no, we sine died. We're not coming back. If the House goes back, we're not part of it. Mm-hmm. That was a conversation we had back in the spring. Now that we're here at the end of the year, we now know that the Senate's going to come back, it sounds willingly, because of the AG's opinion, saying that if not anything else, they do have to come back to try and sine die again. Because, as the AG's opinion says, and people are reflecting on now, you can't sine die with just one house. So if one house The Senate says we're sine die, and the other doesn't count.
So we could see this again and carry on for not just 3 days, because that's what Speaker Bedke said yesterday, that he wants to see it go about 3 days. It could go longer.
It can. I mean, it could go as long as the last day of the year. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Thanks, Joe. We'll keep an eye on it.